Imagine waking up to discover the guaranteed returns you'd be bragging about have vanished overnight, your life savings trapped in a slick con artist bank account. But here's the twist. Those assets aren't gone. They're hiding, and today I'm going to show you exactly where to look and how to get them back. Stick with me for the next few minutes and you'll learn the same forensic playbook my law firm uses to unmask shell companies, freeze rogue bank accounts, and turn a paper trail into cold, hard cash before it slips beyond your reach forever. Today we're talking about a topic that is as painful as it is important. How to recover assets misappropriated in a Ponzi scheme. I'm Santiago Cueto, a board-certified international business law expert. I've helped Fortune 100 companies, foreign governments, and entrepreneurs recover millions of dollars in stolen assets. Ponzi schemes are devastating. Victims often lose not only their money, but also their trust in institutions, friendships, and sometimes their livelihoods. But there's hope. Recovery is possible, and while it's not easy, with the right strategy, victims can reclaim a meaningful portion of what they lost. Let's walk through the key steps to asset recovery based on real-world tactics that have helped victims turn the tide. Step 1, move fast, freeze the assets. The very first rule of recovery is speed. When a Ponzi scheme collapses or is exposed, the assets begin to disappear almost immediately, hidden, transferred, spent, or even dissipated. To maximize recovery, victims or their attorneys must act immediately to seek freezing orders, known as injunctions, in court. These orders can prevent the fraudster from moving money offshore or transferring properties to third parties. Many jurisdictions also allow victims to seek what's called a Mireva injunction, a particularly powerful freeze that applies worldwide. Time is the enemy. Every hour matters. Step 2, work with law enforcement, but act independently too. It's common for federal or state agencies like the SEC, the FBI, or state attorneys general to initiate criminal or regulatory investigation once a Ponzi scheme is uncovered. While these agencies can seize assets and ultimately distribute them through restitution or forfeiture programs, victims should not simply wait for the government. In many cases, hiring private counsel and bringing independent civil actions, including fraud, conversion, and unjust enrichment lawsuits, is essential to speed up recovery and expand the pool of assets. The civil courts can move faster than criminal courts, and civil lawsuits often uncover additional assets that the authorities miss. Step 3, trace and identify hidden assets. Ponzi scheme operators are experts at hiding money. Offshore accounts, nominee trusts, shell companies, they use every trick in the book. That's why the process of asset tracing is critical. Victims must work with forensic accountants, private investigators, and asset recovery attorneys to follow the money trail. Subpoenas can be issued to banks, investment firms, and even tech companies, forcing disclosure of records that expose hidden assets. It's tedious, detailed work, but it's how hidden properties, secret bank accounts, and luxury goods are found and ultimately seized. Remember, the fraudster's lifestyle leaves footprints. Step 4, pursue clawback actions against third parties. Now here's an important point many victims overlook. You're not just limited to suing the fraudster. In a Ponzi scheme, there are often winners, individuals who pulled out profits before the collapse, and enablers, professionals who turned a blind eye or knowingly assisted the scheme. Through clawback lawsuits, victims can sue early investors who received fraudulent profits, banks that ignored red flags, lawyers and accountants who aided the fraud, family members who received gifts of stolen money. These parties may be held liable for restitution even if they didn't directly participate in the scam. In fact, in many famous Ponzi recoveries, like the Bernie Madoff case, a substantial portion of victims' recoveries came not from Madoff himself, but from third-party settlements. And step 5, use bankruptcy tools to expand recovery. If the fraudster or their company files bankruptcy, victims gain another weapon, the bankruptcy court system. In bankruptcy, a court-appointed trustee has broad powers to investigate financial affairs, recover fraudulent transfers, and redistribute assets to creditors, meaning the victims. Bankruptcy courts can often reach assets that could be difficult to grab through normal civil litigation, thanks to special rules favoring recovery over technical ownership rights. It's a long process, but bankruptcy can sometimes yield higher percentages of recovery, especially when the fraudster's assets are complex or widely dispersed. Step 6. Coordinate international recovery efforts. Many sophisticated Ponzi schemes involve assets scattered across the globe in Caribbean banks, European properties, or Asian shell companies. International recovery requires coordination with foreign courts using treaties, letters rogatory, and special recognition actions. Tools like the UNCITRAL model law on cross-border insolvency and bilateral treaties can help victims get foreign asset freezes, enforce judgments abroad, and recover assets held offshore. It's complicated, but today's legal environment makes it much easier than even 20 years ago. The message to fraudsters is clear. You can run, but you cannot hide forever. And step 7. Manage expectations and celebrate partial victories. Now let's be realistic. Full recovery, getting every dollar back, is extremely rare. Most Ponzi scheme recoveries range from 10% to about 50%, depending how early the fraud is caught, the size of hidden assets, and how aggressive the recovery efforts are. But even partial recovery matters. Every dollar recovered represents a victory, a small but meaningful restoration of trust, justice, and accountability. And for many victims, the act of fighting back, of refusing to be silenced or defeated, brings emotional healing that money alone cannot buy. Recovering from a Ponzi scheme is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires speed, strategy, resilience, and the right legal team. But most of all, it requires belief. Belief that justice is possible, even when it feels impossible. So if you or someone you know is ever caught in the wreckage of a Ponzi scheme, remember this: you're not powerless. You have options, and you can fight back.